kitchen for all to benefit from.
Now here also you have a lot of leeway. You can use any type of lentil that you want. I've used those mung beans with the green husk on, and they come out fabulous as well. But my kids love this combination the best. One is half a cup of chana dal. Chana dal is very high in protein. It's actually dark brown chickpeas. But what they do is they take the peel off and it splits into half, and this is what the chana dal looks like. Now, if you grind this up, you get besan. So besan, which is another name for chickpea flour. A lot of these mock egg omelet dishes that are out there are made from this. So it's really high in protein and iron. And this is called urad dal, URAD. This, by nature, comes with the black skin on it. Again, they take the husk off, and this is just the inner part of it, which is white. So I add that in. This is really high in iron. And then I add fenugreek seeds. Fenugreek seeds are pretty cool. What they do is they have a little nutty taste, but they help with the fermentation process. So we want to ferment this. So what I'm going to typically at home, what I do is I'll put this in a sink, I'll wash it up really well until the water runs clear, and then I'll add water, good amount of water. I always use filtered water at home. And let it soak. Typically, I'll let it soak overnight. And in the morning, I get something like this. I soaked this last night. I don't know if you can see, but all the lentils, they have grown bigger. They absorb the water, primarily why I use filtered water, is because the water gets absorbed right in it. And then I will use, so this is in the morning. little stir. And now drain most of it. I am going to be using some of this water. I notice that if I use this water to blend, the fermentation comes out really well. In the past, I would just use swimming water, but this water works out really well.
This one, right?
And then I will use some of this water, not a lot, because I want the batter to be kind of thick, because when it is thick, I can do whatever I want with it. I can make it thinner later on, or if I want a batter with a thicker recipe, I will use that. So I'm going to blend it. Oh. This is a high-speed blender, but you could actually use any regular blender. I used to do it in a food processor back in the day. Food processor would be a little gritty, but totally fine. It actually adds to the texture. The whole that's white, black, try it. I've never tried it. I only always try to make moonbeams. Yeah. So then you pour. Minutes, then I switch it off, and then I leave my light on. So that gives it enough coziness, and it will ferment beautifully, typically within 6-ish hours. Some oven, if you have a fancy one, you could put it in under bread proofing setting, which goes to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which works out really well too. Again, about 6 hours. I have to share something with you. So you want to leave enough room to ferment. So typically I should use even a little larger bowl, because what happened was when I was preparing the dosa batter for the sampling that you're going to use later, it fermented so perfectly, so beautifully, it started to bulge. Like my quad bread, if you've ever made bread, it was bulging like that. I couldn't believe it. I said, oh my goodness. So why do we ferment? Ferment, it's fantastic, because the resting period, see, the rest is really important, not just for the food, also for us. The resting, magic starts to happen. So the bacteria and the yeast, the natural one, it'll come in there and you'll start eating the sugars that are in there. You'll start breaking down the proteins that are in there, the iron and whatnot. So then when you consume it, it's easier to digest. It literally is just that. If I were to make the lentils, boil them, cook them, and consume them, because I am sensitive, I'm going to find it harder to digest. But if I put it in this form, I'm able to digest it much easier. Plus, it gives it that tangy taste, which you can't get it anywhere. Have you ever, who likes sourdough bread here? Oh my goodness. If you like sourdough bread, you're going to love this. It's guaranteed, because it has the same tangy taste to it. But when you do want to let it ferment, how do you know it's fermented? It starts to bubble. You're going to get lots of bubbles. Sometimes, even after 6 to 8 hours, it will not look fermented. What you do is you take a spatula and you just move it slightly. So then you actually have something. So I have this batter which has already been fermented. Because I've already mixed the salt in it, it's kind of become smooth when I add more water. But it's more lighter. It's airy. So what happens is when I go to make dosas later on, I can spread them out much thinner. And they have that bubbly up which you cannot get if I were to just make any wrap out of it. And yeah. So another note, somebody told me out and oh, in India we just put the batter out in the warm because it's so warm there. I said, oh, this is summer, let me go try that. And I put it outside on my deck. It was in the shady area, but oh my gosh, I was not prepared for that. Not